Good morning, students. Today we are going to revise the first chapter, that is the rise of nationalism in Europe. And today we are going to see some important questions on that, and also few key concepts of the lesson. Okay, and we all know that what is the introductory part. What is there in the introductory part? It is by 1848, Frederick Sorio, a French artist, prepared a series of four prints visualizing his dream of the world made up of democratic and social republics. You all know that. And the first print that shows people of Europe and America, all men and women of all ages, they are offering their homage to the Statue of Liberty, and they are moving like a long train. Okay, and that's what we are seeing, and we could see some various things such as the remains, the absolutist institutions remains, and the people are distinguished by their flags and the national costumes. That's what this Frederick Soria having in his utopian vision, and also other than that, various places that is taking part in that, like France, Germany, and Austria, and various places. That's right. So that's what we are seeing, and all these scenes were gazed upon by the what Christ and other angels. That also shows fraternity, symbolizes fraternity, that is brotherhood. And when we are coming to the first unit, that is the French Revolution and the idea of nation, we could study a few important things. What are the things? Growth of nationalism in France, how it got, what how there was a growth of nationalism in France, and also what all the various measures that was created by the revolutionaries. Okay, so introduction of various measures and practices created by the sense of collective identity, and there was a change in the monarchy and an establishment of republic, and the creation of new assembly was their only thought. And for that, many people have many ideas, and mainly these revolutionaries, they what all the concepts, measures they brought. First thing, idea of law patria and licitione. And other than that, what was their main idea? To make what their own place first as a what nation state, and to help all other European countries to have their own nation state. That's what they thought. And also what the rise of Napoleon and his reforms, that time it brought various, he was the person who brought various reforms, and most of the revolutionaries, they help other people of Europe to become a nation. And then we are moving on to the next second unit, that is the making of nationalism in Europe. And here we are studying Germany, Italy, and Switzerland were divided into kingdom, duchies, and cantons, and these divisions were having their own autonomous rulers, and they were distinct. They were divided by two things. One is their ethnic groups and the different languages they speak. And at that time, one particular class that rised, and that is middle class. Okay, and in the other side, industrialization in England was also getting much more developed, and that created a emergence of a working class and liberalism, and that is what we could study as new conservation after 1815 and preservation of traditional institution. But at one time, what you could know that two type of people emerged. They were conservatives and liberalists, and here we are studying about conservatives. These conservative people, they belong, they supported what? The monarchical rule. Okay, so after the defeat of Napoleon, the European government follows the spirit of conservatism, and that is the reason conservative regimes were autocratic revolutionaries at the time, fought for liberty and freedom. So one who was the major person of that thing, it is Giuseppe Mazzini, and he is a young Italy, and he formed two secret societies, that is Young Italy and Young Europe. And in nationalism in Europe, French Revolution and the idea of unification of nation. These are all the various important topics that we have to see in those in that unit, and also visualizing. And these are all the various topics that we study in the lesson, right? In the unit. and that all the things you have to give much more importance for preparing. It's not given here, and you have to prepare by yourself by reading the book. And next thing, the age of revolution, it's from 1830 to 1848. This is a very important unit, and here we come to know about liberalism and nationalism. So here, at that time, what happened means there was a Greek war of independence against the Ottoman Empire, and finally, what happens? Many people supported it, and they got what in order to safeguard the ancient culture of Greece. Okay, and that is the reason those who went in exile also supported it. And finally, many wars that was going on, and even Lord Byron, he's a great poet, English poet. He also collected funds and he went for war, and finally he died because of fever. And finally, what happened? The war gets over by signing the Treaty of Constantinople, which makes the Greece a independent nation. Right, and other than that, we could see here the emphasis is now vernacular way, because what happens means this was this year of 1830 to 1848, that was mainly considered as the age of hunger, hardship, and popular revolt, because most of the people suffered because of not having job and not having food, and the food prices got raised, and there was a bad harvest during that time, and many people died because of epidemics and starvation. And this created a demand for constitutionalism and national unification in one side, and that is the reason at one particular time, women were also started fighting for their own political rights to have to develop the nation. And that is the reason at one particular time they asked to Frankfurt Parliament by the May 1848. And when we are moving on to the next one, that is the important thing, that is unification of Germany and Italy. So here when we are coming, there is a change in concept of nationalism after 1848, sorry. And that is the time emergence of new nation came, and that is Germany. And here what I'm saying is, who was the major person? It is Otto von Bismarck. Okay, and he is a major person, and he is a chief minister, and he is considered to be the what major person for the unification of Germany. Okay, and finally, what happened? They undergone various wars, right? Totally, what to say? 3 wars in 7 years, and finally they won. And finally, who was the person? King William won, right? He became the king of the unified Germany, and he is actually the king of Prussia. And when we are coming to the unification of Italy, you know that your role of Giuseppe Mazzini and Garibaldi is very important, because they created secret societies and they fought. And Garibaldi mainly, when Victor Emmanuel too, he is the king of whom? Which area? Sardinia payment. And when he was given the role of unifying the nation, he thought of fighting what through wars only he can unify. That's what he thought. And he is the major role was taken part by Count Kever. Okay, and he is also very important person. And what yeah, he's not a revolutionary but not a democrat, and he speaks well French, and that is the reason he got support from France also. And that is the reason they fought the wars with the support of France. And also this Garibaldi also gathered a group of volunteers, armed volunteers, and he took to the war, and they won. And other than that, various places, I said you, it was divided into 7 states, and the northern part was ruled by Austrian Habsburg, and the other southern part was ruled by the Ottoman Empire, right? So all the places, and the other part was, the central part was ruled by the Pope, and all the places were captured finally, and it was united. Okay, united finally, right? And when we are coming to the, and Victor Emmanuel became the king of the unified Italy. And here when we are coming to the separate case of Britain, here you all know that first they unified Scotland with them, and then they united Ireland to make the Britain to be the in the middle of it. Okay, and for that they used Act of Union 1707. And also what happened means, after what unifying those two places, these British people started dominating these people. And normally that area was filled with all the three people, but anyhow these people were politically and financially dominant during that time, and they were having colonies in many countries, and they were becoming very powerful at that time. So what they did is they forced the English culture, and also they forced people to use only English language, either rather than the Gaelic language used by the Scottish Highlanders and also the Irish people. And when the Catholic people, they went against this British people in Scotland, they were suppressed. And in the same way, in Ireland, sorry, in Ire, what? Sorry, in Ireland also, what happened means there is a problem between Catholics and Protestants, and that is the reason these British people supported the Protestant people, and finally they were also suppressed. This Catholic people were suppressed, and what happened finally? Ireland was also forcibly incorporated. What? Into the Great Britain. Okay, and finally, when we are moving on to the next important topic, that is visualizing the nation. And here we all know that here the nationalists were mainly, they thought of creating an identity for the nation, and that is the reason they thought of creating their own flags and their own what identity as female allegory. And what mainly in France, they created the statue of Marianne, and in the same way for German nation, they created Germania. Okay, and that symbolizes that particular place, and also the statue also symbolizes various things like liberty and various things like that. And we could even study when we can see the picture of Germania. She will be wearing the oak leaves, and she'll be having the breastplate as a what yeah, and she'll be having a sword in her hand, and also olive leaves. That is that shows that she is ready to fight, but she needs liberty, what peace. She likes peace in that way. So various things that also we have learned, and you have to read more on it to get well versed with that. And finally, nationalism and imperialism. And here we come to see one main thing, that is the last quarter of 19th century, nationalism became narrow, and many people started dominating with imperialism. And that is the reason at one particular time, a group of people called Balkans, they were spread all over the European countries, and they were large in number, and they were dominated by this Ottoman people. Okay, and at one particular time, when they come to know about the nationalism, they got very much enthusiastic to they created a thirst for independence, and that is the reason they started fighting. But at one particular time, it became a power, they became a sense of power, big power rivalry, and all the powerful nations, they thought of suppressing and also controlling this group of people, but they cannot able to do that. And also these people also thought of extending their territory in future to show their power. Okay, and that is the reason finally it resulted in World War First, and the idea of nationalism was now same everywhere, but the concept of a nation state was accepted universally all over the world. And here we could study very important things like what is conservatism. Conservatism is a political philosophy that stressed importance of tradition, prefers gradual development to quick change. And when we are coming to Giuseppe Mazzini, he was an Italian revolutionary and a member of secret society, and he also have created two secret societies. And next, Otto Bismarck. Otto Bismarck is the chief minister of Prussia, and he was the architect of unification of Germany. And when we are coming to study about Romanticism was a culture movement which sought to develop particular form of national sentiment, and nation state is one which the majority of its citizens come together to develop a sense of common identity and shared history or doesn't. And when we are coming to Treaty of Vienna, it was signed by the year 1815, and who was the person who hosted it? Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. What it mainly said? To undo the changes that was made by Napoleon. And when we are coming to nationalist feeling that was kept alive in Poland through two things: music and language. Okay, and who is Kaiser William I? He was the Emperor of United Germany. We have learned already. And what is meant by Liberalism. Liberalism stands for freedom of the individual and equality of all before the law. Okay, so that's what, and all other things I think we have studied before itself. Okay, thank you, students. Have a great day.